My boyfriend snapped over a sticker and sent me home at midnight?
A sticker? What? Are you 5?
First of all, my boyfriend Greg, 21 male, and I, 21 female, have pretty immature senses of humor and always have. We like to tease each other a lot and commonly partake in body humor. Like, we'll joke around if one of us farted, or after a night out at dinner, we'll drive home and pretend to be in labor and call dibs on the bathroom to deliver our food babies. AKA poop. Ew.
Ew.
By the way, this comes from Poopella.
This shows who OP is.
Yeah, whatever.
OP's a comedian.
And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, it sounds so childish typing it out, but we have a lot of fun and are very comfortable with each other. Also, we have never had a fight before and communicate openly about things, but have never had a real problem communicating about it. Tonight, I was at his place to marathon Netflix. Greg got up to go to the bathroom, and I asked him if I should pause it, aka would he be taking a long time. He answered no, so I figured he was just going to pee. However, 15 minutes later, he still wasn't back from the bathroom. No problem, I got up to make myself a snack. On the way to the kitchen, I walked past the bathroom and heard the sound of an app that Greg and I commonly play on our phones. I thought this was pretty funny. On Facebook, there are sticker sets to use in the chat feature, which are basically like unique emojis. One of the sets features an anime-looking poop character and his toilet paper friend. No idea why someone made this, but I think it's quite funny and kind of cute. One of the stickers is of the poop character sitting on a toilet, looking intently at his phone. So I playfully sent this to Greg. Poop sticker of playing on a phone. You right now.
Wow.
I laughed to myself, put my phone away, made my snack, and went back to the living room. Greg came out, and we continued to watch Netflix. However, I noticed he was being physically distant, not putting his arm around me, not sitting close to me on the couch. However, I gave him his space. He was quiet for about 20 minutes. Then he said, "Do you have a friend that you could get to take you home?"
Oh, I would be so angry. I'd be like, are you actually joking?
No, I have my boyfriend.
I would
I have
punt,
my boyfriend take me home.
punt that man.
I literally did not know what he was talking about. I said, "What?" And he repeated what he'd said. I asked him what was wrong, but he wouldn't answer for a while. I asked him if he was upset with me, and he said, "I just can't believe you did that. That was really upsetting." I said, "What are you talking about? You mean the sticker?" Him, obviously. I was stunned. I had no idea why he was so offended or what exactly I had done wrong, but I immediately apologized. I said, "I'm so sorry that I offended you. I had no idea. That was not my intent at all. I was just joking. Could you tell me what about that upset you so I don't do it again in the future?"
Perfect.
That was a really great
Perfect.
response.
Yeah.
It was an apology, but also like, I genuinely I don't know what I did.
Yeah, and how will I do better in the future? Perfect. OP.
Great. 10 out
Wow.
of 10, OP.
Wow. I wish that was everyone in the world. What peace we would have on this earth.
Greg flipped out and said, "I was," insert an insult here.
Blue, blue, blah, 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 blah.
That's exactly what he said. If I couldn't see what I did wrong. He said there was something wrong with me and that I had the mentality of an effing child. I was really hurt by this and asked if he seriously wanted me to leave. He said yes, and I asked if he was going to drive me home. I had ridden with him and didn't have my car. He said no, because why would he after what I just did? I was so pissed off that I stormed out of the house. Keep in mind that this was 11 p.m. in a crappy part of town. None of the buses were running, and I felt too ashamed to call my friends. So I walked all the way home. Nothing happened, but I'm so mad he would force me to walk home by myself in a shady area just because of this. And he showed no concern for me whatsoever. So now I'm sitting here fuming. I'm actually considering ending things over his huge overreaction because he refuses to talk to me and explain what's going on. He keeps saying, "You should know." Then he said, "Whatever, I'm going to bed," and cut me off.
See, the thing is, he doesn't even know. He's
Yeah.
trying to think of a reason
To
but
break
there's,
up with you.
Yeah, there's not a reason. So this has probably been like a long time coming, and he's just now like, oh, this is the perfect time for me
Yeah.
to just.
Oh,
you
she
know-
sent me the poop emoji.
Oh, I'm
Let's
so
do it.
angry.
I got this. Is the perfect thing to break up over.
Yeah, this guy just seems like he's going through something
Yeah.
and trying to blame it on every other thing but himself.
Yep.
Really mature. I love men.
I'm embarrassed by how childish and petty this sounds, especially compared to the other stuff on this subreddit. However, this is my first relationship, and I honestly don't know what to think about what just happened. Reddit, what is going on? Can anyone shed light on this? Is this even worth trying to salvage? I find his rage at this and refusal to communicate very immature, to the point where I almost don't want to be in a relationship with him anymore. Like, if he'll send me out in the cold for this, is he going to leave me on the side of the road next time we disagree on something? I'm so confused. He has never reacted like this or gotten mad at anything before. I just don't think I did anything really bad. However, this is my first relationship, so if I'm in the wrong, let me know.
Even if you were in the
Thanks.
wrong OP,
He's not handling it correctly.
he's not handling it well. He's like, you know what you did, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's not trying to solve it. He's just trying to, like, get rid of you, which is really annoying.
No, there's totally a chance that you did something that was not okay or genuinely hurt him. But everything after that, it doesn't matter because you have attempted to apologize. You have attempted to rectify this stupid situation that he caused, and he is not willing to meet you where you're at. So, yeah, you gotta go. Adios. Comment 1. My best friend and I make fart jokes all the time. I sent her poop haikus while she's in the toilet, and she calls my farts the black plague, I'll say. If she got upset over a fart joke, I would be shocked because it would have come out of nowhere. Your boyfriend is immature and kind of a crappy person. This is what I would send him. What do you and a toilet have in common? You both just experienced a dump. We're done. That would be so slay.
You both just experienced a dump.
That would be really good. I recommend that. I agree with this comment. Comment 2 says, do you think there were maybe some other issues and he immediately just pinned it on the first thing he could blame it on? The poop sticker? Sounds like an a-hole for making you walk home so late. Bye, Felicia. OP says, I've been wondering this myself, if this is really because of some underlying issue. But for the life of me, I 100% can't think of anything that would be bothering him. He's acted totally normal, and we've had a great last couple of weeks. Lots of fun dates, went partying with his friends, etc. This is totally out of the blue for me, and I just want to know if he's really upset about something else, but he just won't talk to me. And there is an update. Let's get into it. Just to clarify from the last post, I literally only sent Greg the poop sticker and the you right now. So I'm sure I didn't accidentally write or send anything else. And I sent that through a private chat with only me and him. I did not post it to his wall or through a group chat, though even if I did, I wouldn't really see a reason for extreme offense. Anyway, I hope that answers some posters' questions. After taking today to think about it and talking it over with my best friend, I decided to follow my instinct and the advice of everybody here and break up with Greg. He didn't contact me at all since he abruptly cut me off last night. And after he posted a picture of having a grand old brunch with his buddies on Facebook, I decided enough was enough. He didn't seem to have any remorse, and it really stung to see how few craps he gave about me. Pun intended. I messaged him, you're a crappy person, we're over, don't contact me again, and blocked him on Facebook. Sorry, I wasn't brave enough to use the brilliant responses some people suggested. The dump and turd puns were great, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I was too mad. After I changed my relationship status and deleted our couple pics, I got several calls from Greg. I debated just blocking his number as well, but my curiosity got the best of me, so I picked up. I was met with silence. He was really pissed at me. I said, hello, in an impatient way, and he said, this is really how you're going to do this? We had an argument where we were basically just shouting and blaming each other, with me mostly defending my decision to break up, and him saying I was a witch for throwing away a good relationship on a whim. Bestie, buddy, you didn't text her. You didn't talk to her.
You don't even want to talk. Like, how are we supposed to, like, mend things if you don't want to talk to me?
Yeah.
Like, this seems like what you want.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just doing it for you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You don't have to be the bad guy, even though you're still horrible.
I pointed out that I'd been willing to work it out with him and try to fix whatever it was that I'd done wrong, but it was his unwillingness that made me think it wasn't worth it. After about 40 minutes of arguing, Greg started to realize that I was really serious. And this wasn't just a tactic to get his attention. And he started getting genuinely upset. He said, please don't break up. Please. We are so good together. which was actually hard for me to hear because up until this point, we have had a really great relationship. So I started to feel really bad.
Oh, no.
However, I kept thinking about how I'd never trust him again with my safety and how galling it was that he hadn't been concerned about me or my well-being until he'd noticed we were now broken up. Also, how surprised I'd been by his anger and name-calling. I'd never seen that side of him before and no longer trusted who I thought he was. So I tried to stand firm. Long story short, we talked and argued for a while longer, and Greg thought that talking about the problem would be enough to get me to stay with him, so he confessed. And it was really stupid in my opinion. Basically, about a week ago, I hung out with Greg and his buddies. We were both gamers, and they were having a game night and asked me to come along. The attitude of that whole group is to trash talk each other and playfully rib each other, especially while gaming. So that night, when we were playing games, I joined in on the trash talk. None of it was mean-spirited. To me, it was just, take some of that. Yeah, eat it, type stuff. But apparently Greg felt embarrassed because I beat him a few times in front of his friends and gloated about it. That's how you play games with your partner. You try and beat them.
Yeah.
You try and crush them into
so
dust.
Because the girl beat a guy, and now his dude, that actually happened to me too. No, it's okay. It's okay.
The whole point of playing games with your partner and other people, I mean, you can be in a group setting, but if your partner's in the room, you have to beat them. This was my bad, but everybody was making a huge show of gloating and peacocking after every victory, so I thought this wasn't out of the ordinary if I also did it. That's not your bad, girl. That's just how you play games.
You won. You deserve
won.
that.
You get a gloat. I thought it was just part of the fun, but in hindsight, it was probably weird and I probably should have acted differently. No, don't let anyone make you feel like you're not allowed to gloat after winning.
Don't go back.
You hit him with the, oh, haha, loser, you lost, I won.
Oh, so I should so I should just never win.
Yeah,
because if I win, it's the end for both of us, right? That's fun.
Also, they kept making comments like, wow, you're basically dating a dude. And you know your girlfriend is basically just like a girl version of name of a dude in their group. To Greg, because they were surprised that I was willing to have frank discussions about certain topics, like poop, spicy sleep, etc. I got the vibe they didn't spend that much time around girls because they were acting so surprised every time something like that came up.
That's crazy. They're like, girls can do that
Girls
too?
poop?
Wait,
Huh?
hold on.
Girls can have fun with us? What?
That's against the rules.
That's against the law of physics.
It was like that mentality of, whoa, girls don't fart or acknowledge farting. This is weird. I brushed it off, but I guess afterwards, Greg's friends kept teasing him about that night and made some assertions that I was too manly and that I didn't or wouldn't respect him because I was manlier than him. And also because I'd been beating him and peacocking about it. I'm not entirely sure, but he made it clear that a lot of mocking was going on. So I guess this has been festering inside Greg ever since then and making him insecure. The poop sticker thing sent him overboard because he thought I was making fun of him because I didn't respect him. He interpreted it as me calling him a fat pile of crap and thinking I could get away with that. His words. It's still not entirely clear to me. He didn't do a great job of explaining it and was very frustrated that he had to articulate his feelings. I wasn't impressed. I will probably get flack for this, but I don't feel very much empathy about this problem and thought it was kind of ridiculous and stupid. It is. It's definitely something he needs to figure out.
Yeah.
On his own. If Greg had brought this up to me at any point, we could have had a discussion about it and I would have toned it down. Though I disagree that my behavior being manly was somehow something for him to get insecure about. Unattractive, okay, I could see it. But it seemed like it was being turned into an emasculation thing by his friends, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around that. It feels almost red pilly, but I don't know enough about it to really say that. Yeah, that is what it is. I don't really know how I feel. Anyway, I personally didn't think it was something for him to have such a strong reaction about, and it was a problem that could have easily been talked over if it had bothered him so much. I still didn't think it was anything worth kicking me out and ignoring me for, or name-calling. Nothing is worth that, in my opinion, but again, this is my first relationship. I'm probably just being selfish and pissed off. By the way, it'd be selfish of you guys not to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's extremely insecure from his friends, for
Mhm.
himself. I mean, you're 21. Yeah.
You will find
Yeah.
someone better.
Exactly.
And
There's
maybe,
so much
maybe
time.
he'll figure himself out and realize, oh, maybe I shouldn't hang around these people that make me feel so terrible.
Or like stand up to his friends and stand up for you. I don't know. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah. I hate
Any of the above.
I hate if like you can't stand up for like your partner, especially to your
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pun intended crappy.
Crappy.
Look at donut in my hand. Are you kidding me right now?
Regardless, it's over now. I told Greg he needed to grow up, but it wasn't going to be with me. His reaction was extremely immature and irrational, shocking.
Yeah, wow.
He acknowledged that, but was still angry at me for one, insulting him with the sticker and not showing him respect, even though we've always teased each other. I guess this goes back to the trash talking. And two, for wanting to break up. He said, give it a few days to think about it. But I firmly said I didn't want to date him anymore. He said his friends were right and it was actually a C word.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So now he's
Okay,
shown
cool.
all of the cards and they all look bad.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Who didn't care about him or respect him. I hung up. He's been calling me some more, but I'm going to go see Inside Out with my friends and feel some feels and not worry about him again. I guess we both did some things wrong and we both need to do some maturing. But for now, I don't feel too bad. I'm still pretty pissed off, but surprisingly not that sad for my first breakup. Maybe it will hit tomorrow, or maybe I'll find a debonair professional type at the movies who will teach me how to have an adult relationship and let me send him poop stickers. Anyway, thanks for the support, Reddit. I feel better. And comments. Comment 1, she's immature, but in a silly way. He's immature in an emotionally stunted way. Comment 2 says, OP doubts herself a lot in these posts. I hope that she's outgrown that because all of her actions were totally reasonable. Comment 3 says, if my girlfriend thrashed me at video games in front of the boys, I'd be so proud.
Right. And that is the right reaction.
And that's
Right.
the end of that story. But yeah, that's like, oh, my girlfriend freaking pwned you guys. Losers.
My girlfriend kept pulling me back for years and I finally broke the cycle.
Let me out!
I met my girlfriend when I was 18 and she was 21 in 2011, both working at Walmart. After becoming equals at work, we became friends and I started having feelings for her in late 2013.
Ooh la la.
We were flirty. So I decided to make the first move and told her how I felt.
Heck yeah.
By the way, this comes from the thickest papusa.
The thickest papusa.
And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytype subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And this is Donut. And we are here to give you some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We would only tell you what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in this situation in the comments. As OP says, we became very close, but didn't make our relationship official until April 2014, when she was 23 and I was 20. She had warned me that she didn't feel like she had much to offer, but I was young and not nuanced in relationships. So just being with her felt good enough. We met each other's families and started talking about the future, marriage, kids, all of it. She said, I love you first, and I said it back a few weeks later. During my early 20s, I began experiencing depressive episodes, and what I now know were hypomanic episodes. Though I wasn't diagnosed until I was 25, the depression led to a lot of anger inside me, and she was dealing with her own struggles after having to leave work and go on full disability due to a physical disability she'd been born with. We were living together and she began to isolate from others. We started relying too heavily on each other for support and began fighting daily. Eventually, she left. Her dad came and moved her out. She broke the lease and completely ghosted. So I had to resolve the lease and clean the apartment by myself. She also left me with 9 cats. Whoa, why do you have that many?
9 cats?
That's a
That's
lot.
insane.
7 we had gotten together.
You got 7 together? Why?
And 2 kittens from a local stray. Her dad said She couldn't bring any cats to his house. This was November 2016. I was 23 and she was 26.
Y'all had 9 cats?
Yeah, that's crazy. How
Did you have
that?
time for all those cats?
No wonder you were like
How'd you
financially
feed-
like
yeah.
not well.
You had 9 cats.
I moved back in with my parents, and over the next 4 months, I grew as a person and focused on myself. I built my confidence by getting contacts instead of glasses, lost about 50 pounds, fixed my relationships, and got highlights in my hair for the first time ever. Wow. I was thriving at work, in school, and in my personal life. I identified what went wrong in our relationship, how I played a role, and how it ended, and came to terms with no longer being in touch with her. I determined it was best for both of us since we had become toxic to each other. In March 2017, she texted me around 3 a.m. while I was up studying for a test, so I responded and we reconnected. She had been kicked out of her dad's house and moved in with a friend about a half hour south. She was doing very badly, financially, emotionally, physically. Wow. She had stopped smoking when we were together, but had picked it up again. She didn't want to live with her friend anymore because she felt sad and isolated. That same day, we made plans to see each other. I later found out that she had been to the Walmart I worked at while visiting friends in my town and saw how happy I looked.
She like saw you from across the Walmart and she was like, wow.
I remember that smile.
I remember the 9 cats we had together.
Mm.
How I miss it.
She said she had missed me the moment she left. I picked her up and we spent the whole night together, reminiscing and reigniting our relationship.
Stop.
She made it known how sorry she was and explained that she wasn't happy with herself and had taken it out on me and the relationship. I talked about how I played a large part in that too. We kissed for the first time again.
Oh.
You can't kiss for the first time again.
That's
Sorry.
It's not how it works.
Yeah. If it's
just like probably the 200th time.
Yeah, you can't. If it's the first, you can't do the first again. Sorry, OP. It was so romantic. Sitting on the rocks near the river in my hometown where we had lived together. We hung out a lot after that. But I didn't tell the people closest to me yet. Well, of course. Of course you wouldn't, because you know that it's a bad thing, right? You know how bad it is, so you don't tell anyone. I know, OP. I know. She had reconnected with her sister, who lived about 45 minutes north from my hometown, and her sister wanted her to move in so she could work on getting her life straightened out. I helped her move all her belongings to my sister's house. I went to school near where she now lived, and we saw each other a lot. We decided to take the plunge and move in together around July 2017.
Stop.
I was now 25, and she was 27. Things seemed really good. I was doing school full-time, got a new job full-time near our apartment, and a part-time job down in my hometown. She got a part-time job to supplement her disability income. I pushed her to reconnect with her dad and the family that had stopped talking to her because I knew how much she cherished her family. She did, and they were able to reconnect on good terms. Not long after, her dad was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer.
Oh, wow.
All right, which understandably made things harder for her. I was still dealing with undiagnosed bipolar symptoms and going through a really rough depressive stretch. We started slipping back into old patterns and arguing again, but we were at least trying to talk things through. Yep, that's how it always starts. It's like, this time's gonna be different. And it's not.
It never is. You just have 9
not.
more cats now.
So her dad passed in August 2018, and I was still struggling with my mental health. I was there for her as much as I could be, but it wasn't enough. I had also been drinking problematically, but functionally for a couple months.
Y'all are,
drinking
like,
nightly and getting wasted.
Not
still
healthy
working.
for each other.
Yeah.
And you just like went back into this unhealthy relationship because it was comfortable and you know, you both knew and felt it felt familiar.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Ugh.
Completely have been there, OP. You're
You're
I feel
18
like
cats in.
people will always go back to what they're familiar with because it's just human nature. I don't know. It just is. She broke up with me later that month.
Whoa, okay. She said, I don't want the familiar anymore.
I was 25. She was 28. But we had just re-signed our lease and agreed not to break it.
Why?
I slept in the bed. I slept in the bed. She slept on the couch. But she stopped sleeping at the apartment and started spending time with friends we had met through her job. She told me she was moving to another state 12 hours ago when the lease was up. I was heartbroken.
Also, just to be clear, there are only 9 cats still. I was just making a joke.
I started going to therapy and medication counseling, where I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 and borderline personality disorder. I started focusing on myself again, lost 40 pounds, and excelled at my new job that I had found post-graduation. I still felt in love with her and decided to try a grand romantic gesture.
No, why?
Stop! She's gonna buy more cats! She's gonna
Please,
show up with a
OP.
little basket full of cats.
OP, choose yourself.
Choose yourself.
Stop
You're
it.
doing so well. You've lost like 80 pounds.
I know, it's like, well, back to what I know, but it seems like OP does have like a problem with like
Yeah.
substances and
Yeah.
everything, so it would make sense to, it's like the cycle. We had become friendly, so I asked her to set aside a Saturday to hang out. The day before, I set up an elaborate scavenger hunt that started at our apartment and went to the first place we went on a date, the first place we had lived, the first place we met, the first apartment we moved into together, and the place where we reconnected after our first breakup.
Bad.
That's not gonna save anything.
No, OP.
OP, you're living in the past.
OP, you doing a scavenger hunt to get back together with your ex?
Oh no, there's more. At each location, I left a gift, a poem, and a fake white rose. I made a playlist which somehow landed on our song as we arrived at the last location. The last note led to her opening my trunk, where there was a final poem indicating I wanted to get back together, along with a pair of driving moccasins and a road atlas to express that I would go with her anywhere. We hugged and cried, and she asked for time to digest it. We didn't get back together at that time. She started staying at the apartment a lot again, and we became very good friends. My feelings were still there, and she started to get very flirty. We got back together
No.
in March 2019.
No.
I was 26. She was about to be 29.
Stop.
Things were healthy, and we had
Stop.
become friends again.
Stop it.
I know, I feel bad. But I totally get it. It's just something that, like neither of you have the ability to say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it stinks. It
And the problem
sucks.
is that, like, every time you realize, hey, this is not working out, you get out of the relationship, but then you're still living together.
Yeah.
And then you get back together because you're in close proximity. And then you're probably going to get to another time when you have to renew the lease, renew it, then realize, oh, we're not good together, leave. It's too much. It's too much.
Things were healthy, and we had become friends again. So it felt like a good starting point. We talked about our issues and the future. She was still going to move to be close to her family so she could focus on becoming independent. We agreed to stay in a long-distance relationship, and I would move there in a year or two. She moved in August 2019, and I stayed in the apartment. One night, I went out to the bar with a friend and ran into our mutual friends. They told me I needed to let her live her life and experience other people. It bothered me, so I brought it up to my girlfriend. She basically said, I don't know what I want. I told her that meant she didn't know if she wanted to be in a relationship, and she just said she didn't know. I told her it wasn't fair to me to wait for her to be ready, and I ended things. She accepted it. I was 26, and she was 29.
I need you guys to both accept it, though.
Yeah.
I need you both to accept that you should not be together.
I tried to focus on myself again. I reignited some past friendships and started going out to bars to meet new people. I stopped taking my bipolar medications, and became very hypomanic. OP, I don't know what's going on. I spiraled really badly. Well, yes, of course. On Halloween 2019, I went out to the bar with my friend, and it was downpouring. My phone got drenched and stopped working. I fell face first on the ground and busted my lip open. I lost my entire wallet. I drove down to my family's house, and my brother helped me buy a new phone. I continued drinking heavily, and then my wallet got taken from my car one night. I then determined my head wasn't clear due to my drinking, so I stopped cold turkey in mid-December 2019. Right after I stopped drinking, I got a Christmas card in the mail from my ex-girlfriend. I broke down. I sent her a cordial Christmas card back. On New Year's Eve, I got an email from her saying how sorry she was and that she had been working on herself and learning about my mental health disorders. She said she missed me and loved me and regretted our breakup.
No, stop.
I emailed back. that she could call me.
No. No.
Later that evening, she called and we reconnected. Within 2 weeks, we had gotten back together.
Genuinely, like, after,
This gives me a headache.
I don't know, after like maybe one breakup, maybe two, if
Yeah.
you're really lucky.
But then after that, it's like,
You can get together and stay together. But if you're progressing beyond 2 breakups, you're not staying together.
yeah, just
That is not a for life thing.
It was January 2020. I was 26 and she was 29. She came up to visit a month later for Valentine's Day. She was still living with her sister's family and having a hard time. She felt mistreated and said it was very tense. We talked about future plans. She wanted to find an apartment and become independent. We said maybe I'd move down in 2021. OP, you keep getting stuck with the lease though.
Yeah.
So
and the
stop
cat.
it. Like,
What happened
and
to the cats,
yeah,
by
I
the
know.
way? We haven't mentioned the cats
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, so who knows what happened to your pets, but also like
Like, she just keeps leaving your lease anyway. So let's like not worry about breaking the lease.
donut sitting
Let's
and
just start a list.
looking at
lease.
people and crying is so funny. In March 2020, I was told I had gallstones and needed surgery to remove my gallbladder. Whoa. She took an overnight bus and came to the hospital. This was a week before the vid restrictions really started. I was discharged and we went back to my apartment. She wanted to stay for a few days to make sure I was okay. Her sister had concerns about her coming back during the pandemic since there were vulnerable immune systems in their household. Her sister helped her find an apartment and she went back down in May 2020. I was 26 and she was 30. Up to the day she left, there was tension because she had told me she wanted to move back in with me and we would work together to find a house and move. I felt heartbroken and our last day was very tense. She moved into her new apartment and was happy, started volunteering. We started to repair our relationship due to the damage caused by her telling me she wanted to move back with me, then leaving anyway. I forgave her. I returned to therapy and medication counseling. There you go, OKOP. She then had a leak in her apartment that took days to fix and her belongings were ruined. Her sister helped her get out of her lease and into an apartment at the complex where her sister worked. We were still connecting pretty well, and I had expressed my concerns and anxiety that I still feared this relationship would end and that she wouldn't be able to commit the way she was saying she wanted to. She reassured me that we wanted the same things in our futures. I started to drink casually. No.
Stop.
Ay, ay, ay. I had been sober for about a year, but decided to test the waters and see if I could casually drink without becoming problematic. No, you haven't. I see every single thing that you're doing, and it's going to continue to do it until you choose to stop. So far, I had been able to control it. She was okay with this. We got along pretty well. And then she was constantly talking about her family and spending every weekend at her sister's house, and I got very jealous. What?
Of her sister?
Oh, no.
What?
This story's
What?
going everywhere. I don't even know who to feel bad for. I brought it up in therapy and worked on resolving these feelings. I let her know that when she would end her call because her sister was calling, it bothered me because she wouldn't do the same for me. If she was on the phone with her sister and I called, she would text saying she was busy. She acknowledged this and said she didn't realize it. I got very good at communicating my issues in a healthy way that didn't lead to arguments. I thought things were going well, but this last Friday, February 19th, 2021, I'm 27 and she's about to be 31. I asked if we could talk.
We're at 9 years.
Yeah. I feel like I've been
9
reading this for 9 years. I was feeling anxiety because we hadn't talked about me moving or made plans yet, and I have less than 6 months until my lease is up. I brought this to her attention, and she used this as an opportunity to tell me we no longer want the same
You
things.
never wanted the same things.
Oh my God. She said she's having such a good time with the kids in her life that she doesn't think she wants kids anymore. You deserve someone who can give you what you want. I called her out on this and said this is a conversation we can have and she can let me digest and determine what I want to do. She said, yeah, but we have so many differences. She said I don't like her family, that I don't want to go to church on Christmas Eve. I told her I do like her family, but I haven't had a proper chance to get to know them. After 10 years?
10 years and you don't know her family?
That's crazy. And I told her I'm not religious, but we had talked about the future and what holidays would look like, and I would be willing to go to church with her and test it out for myself. She then told me she had been wishing that I would meet someone at the bar and break up with her, and I wouldn't have been mad. She did not come out and say she was breaking up with me. I had to ask, is this the end? Is this over? And she was silent. I asked her what else can be done to save the relationship if there was anything. She said she's happy where she's at. She likes doing whatever she wants to do whenever she wants. She likes her apartment and doesn't want to move. She never outright told me she was breaking up with me and continued to list every excuse except that she either doesn't love me anymore or doesn't want to be with me anymore. She asked if we could be friends, and I said no.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's the best thing you've said
Thank
this
you.
entire time.
No, you cannot be friends. Because every time you've been friends, you've been
Yeah.
like, well, we should be together.
I went silent, and she apologized over and over. I asked her to stop apologizing because I do not accept her apologies. I am now in a space where I know I need to move on. I texted her Saturday morning at 2 a.m. because I couldn't sleep and told her how hurt I was. I told her she used to be the person I would call at 2 a.m. when I'm in my feelings and that I am in pain because I know I cannot do this anymore. I did not expect a response and did not get a response. I hate myself for it. But there is a small part of me hoping that we will go through the same cycle where she starts to miss me and will reach out in a few months. I know this is not healthy. I know I cannot bring her back into my life, but the love is heavy and it is there. There's even an update. To wrap things up, she was breaking up with me via phone in 2021, and she said she didn't know if she wanted kids, marriage, etc. anymore. I told her I'd reconsider everything if that's what she wants. By the way, you don't need to reconsider listening to us, because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast station and just type in OK Storytime. I'm just going to get right to this update. Thankfully, I accepted the breakup. I learned about myself and my hobbies and spent 2 years single. Good.
Thank God.
Came to terms with and happy with possibly spending the rest of my life by myself, and did a lot of work to become emotionally and financially independent. The latter was questionable, but the effort was there. And now I am with my fiance, who wants a family and to get married and to live a future that reflects what I want as well.
Yay. Yay.
You did it, OP. It only took 10, 12 years, but you did it.
Yay.
This would have never happened if my ex accepted my willingness to change anything. And ladies and gentlemen,
Is that the
that's
end?
the end.
That's the end.
That's the frickin' end.